faces. Oh, it just told me I was being recorded. No pressure. But I've seen so many of you guys' faces because I'm friends with so many of you. And I love seeing you guys on here and showing up for your business, showing up for your teams and all of that. So those of you who do not know me, obviously my name is Chelsea Otto. I am a superstar director with Scentsy, but tonight we're just going to leave titles out. Like, I don't care about your title. It's not important to me. That does not make you, that isn't, to me, that doesn't tell me a whole lot about you. Honestly, that's irrelevant in my eyes. And I want to share a few fun facts about myself. And if you would like, I want you to share some fun facts about yourself in the chat if you can. Because that way it's like a little icebreaker, like, because I don't want anyone to ever to look at me and go, because that has happened before. And I'm human and I want you guys to know me as someone outside of Scentsy as well. So I love iced coffee. It's my jam. I am always caffeinated. You can ask Emily and April. They've been in a car with me when we go on Starbucks runs. I love it. I also love Longhorns, hence why I have one in the back of my office. No, I'm not from anywhere that has Longhorns. I just love Highland cows and Longhorns, and they're the best. I'm an egg donor. I've donated my eggs 6 different times to help multiple couples grow into beautiful families. And what's something else I love? I love plants. I am addicted to plants. I swear, if my husband ever divorces me, it's going to be over plants. So those are just some fun facts about me. And again, please share some fun facts about yourself in the chat so I can get to know you as well. So a little bit about my story. So I've been with Scentsy almost 9 years next month, which literally is amazing to me because when I started, we didn't have anything. We were broke as a joke. And I'm sure if y'all have heard my story, I'm so sorry. But I want to share it again because you never know who hasn't heard it yet. But we were broke to the point where we were flipping couch cushions, like scraping for change, writing checks, praying that they wouldn't bounce because we would write them a few days before my husband would get paid because he is active duty. And it was a really stressful time in our personal life, in my marriage, and just life in general. I mean, when you have a burden like that on you, you're never happy. You're super tired. You're just weighed down. And I was a new mom at the time. We had a 1-year-old baby and he definitely kept me on my toes. And I was working at Babies R Us, Toys R Us there in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'm not sure if any of y'all are there, but that is where I started my journey with multiple Scentsy consultants on the block. So if you've ever used the excuse that your area is saturated, I'm here to tell you that that's baloney. And you get what you make out of it, right? Like whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out. And that's exactly what I did. So a few weeks into my whole journey, I'm trying to make this like really condensed. We ended up finding out that we were pregnant and we ended up losing our baby at 17 weeks. And that was just a few weeks after I joined, that we ended up losing him. And I went down a really bad depression because I actually had to give birth to him, and walking into that hospital and then leaving with no baby led me down a really dark path that I pray that nobody ever goes down. It was to a point that I didn't even want to be here. But something clicked in me, and I said, listen, like, my son needs his wife, or my son needs his mom, my husband needs his wife, and I need to put all my energy back into my business. And at that point, I threw Scentsy on the back burner. It was not important to me. And that's what I did. I didn't just like tiptoe into this business, I dove back in. And so if you are here and you are tiptoeing around in this business, you're missing out. You need to completely dive all in and give everything that you have, because I promise you, when you go all in, it's so much more rewarding. And you actually see Scentsy for not just the business side, but for the personal growth side. And I'll get into that in a little bit too. And that's when my business started really booming. I started getting team members after 4 months. So stick around, y'all, because it takes some time to build a team. Like, it's not just going to happen overnight, not just during an incentive period. It happens like when you are consistent. And that's what I was doing. I was staying consistent. And that's when literally business just bloomed. I hit director within a year. And I always say that when Chelsea Otto gets super comfortable, life just throws curveballs left and right. So I don't ever stay comfortable. At least I try not to, because I'm not sure what's about to happen. So my husband got orders and we moved to Quantico, Virginia. And I was the brand new girl on base. So I am always a brand new consultant every 3 to 4 years, and a new states, new places all the time. And I have to basically restart my business. And that's okay. I think it's super healthy to restart your business every couple of years, because it keeps you grounded and it makes you reevaluate all the time. And I think that that's super important to do as a new consultant, as a seasoned consultant, and as leaders. We should always be reevaluating our business and ourselves. So I had the choice to either give up my business or keep pushing. I kept pushing. And I hit star director, and then I hit superstar director, a total within about 3 years of joining Scentsy. Earned trips, all of that fun stuff. But life got really crazy when my husband got new orders again. And that's when we moved to Japan. Yes, I ran my business internationally in Japan, 13 hours ahead of the States. I could have given up. I almost gave up, because when my husband told me we were moving there, I probably said every cuss word in the book, because I was not happy. Because I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to run a business internationally and still train my team and still talk to my customers? I was not with it. But I sucked it up and I went, and I was a new consultant again, all over there. Didn't know anybody. So I had to actually force myself to get out and meet people and build those relationships. Like I do every time. I always build relationships without any expectations of anyone ever buying or joining. It's always about the relationships, always and forever. Remember that. So I started building their word of mouth. When people saw my shirts, that's just how my business grew. I didn't actually like post a whole lot on social media in Japan, like on the wives pages and stuff, because I wanted that relationship. I wanted to be in person, going to coffee, figuring out like who they were, letting them like know us and my family, and just building that genuine relationship without any hidden agenda. So that's what really helped my business in Japan, was just building those genuine relationships, and then word of mouth. I was hosting parties all the time there, and it was super fun. And I was getting up super early to train my team and talk to my customers. I was going to bed super late, training my team and talk to my customers, because there was no excuse for me. Like I wasn't going to just let my business fall. I wasn't going to be lazy and make excuses and just sit back and rake in the money, because that's not how this business works. It's not okay to just sit back. And I love leading from the front, always and forever. But my team will never know that I lead from the front, because I'm the one behind the scenes, behind them, pushing them, encouraging them. Like that's just who I am. So even though you may be leading from the front, make sure that you let other people lead as well, because that is how you're going to continuously build leaders. So I was, again, recruiting over there, building my team, all these things. And then in November of 2018, my husband was in a near drowning accident when he was deployed. And he fought for his life in the oceans over in Japan for about an hour and a half, getting beat up by the ocean, getting stung by jellyfish. He got pulled out to about 2 football fields out into the ocean for an hour and a half, just getting his butt kicked, hitting coral, hitting rocks, got cut up and down. Almost did not make it, but by the grace of God, he did. And they medevaced him to Guam. And then the next day he came home with the rest of the Marines that he was with. But then later we found out that he had a brain tumor on the left side of his head. So it was a blessing in disguise. Everything happens for a reason. If he would not have had his drowning accident, we would not have found the tumor. And then we ended up having to come back to the States for them to do testing and get treatment. We did do a biopsy, and it was full-blown brain cancer. And it's taken me about 3 years now to be able to have a conversation without tearing up. It's still, I can feel my like body like getting super warm, like, okay, Chelsea, like it's okay. But we're at a point where that's just a part of our story now. It's a part of the journey that we've been on. We've been on a crazy journey in Scentsy, and it's been crazy. But so we came back, he did a biopsy. It was brain cancer, grade 2 oligodendroglioma. And then he had brain surgery on Valentine's Day, February of 2019. And before that, I was doing a training, like the night before his surgery, I was doing a training for my team, and behind my laptop was the doctor and my husband, and the doctor was putting the little circles on his head, getting ready for brain surgery the next day. So do not tell me that you can't work your business anywhere, because I worked it in a hospital room the day before my husband's brain surgery. So don't come at me with excuses. I hate excuses, and I'm very blunt about that. So if I just like made anyone feel super uncomfortable, I'm sorry. I'm super blunt about that. I don't like excuses. Excuses aren't going to get you anywhere in life except right where you're at today. So moving forward, he did 6 intense weeks of radiation, and that was every single day. Every single day I had to take him because he was not able to drive because my husband has seizures and has now been diagnosed with epilepsy. So every single day I was getting up and working my business from my car, from this binder right here. I did all my work from this binder. I would, even though in certain areas of the hospital, I could not, I didn't have service. So like when the radiation was in the basement, I didn't have service. So instead of sitting there, not doing anything, I worked on my postcards for my team. I worked out on my thank you cards for my customers. No excuses. If I could work it from my car or from the basement of the radiation room, I would do it. Moving forward, once that happened, my husband did a year's worth of chemo. And you know what? Chemo was the worst part of all of it, because my husband went like this. He went down a really bad spiral. He got addicted to certain things. It was a mess. My life was literally chaos every single day. And he was not healthy. He was not okay. And he was dealing with PTSD. He was dealing with a lot of trauma. And on top of that, you know, I was wearing a lot of hats. I was a mom, wife, caretaker, business owner. I was a snack person. I was a driver. I was the counselor. I was everything. And it got to a point where I had to take all my hats off, because guess what hat I forgot? Myself. I was burnt out. And when you're burnt out, you quit. Most of the time people just give up. And throughout all of this, y'all, let me remind you, I was working my business still. I was working my business in the midst of chaos, because I kept hearing, move, keep moving, keep moving. There's a reason for all of this. So I did. And Scentsy was like my outlet. Scentsy saved me once when I didn't want to be here. And Scentsy saved my family because that was my outlet. And now, because I didn't give up through any of those, and I didn't give up excuses, now my husband is about to retire, which that was our 20-year goal for my husband. He wanted to do the full 20, retire, yada, yada, yada. Well, he's retiring now at almost 12 years, medically retiring. And in December of 2020, I bought us a house. So now we are no longer moving. But any of this would not have happened if I wouldn't have stayed consistent, if I wouldn't have kept moving, if I wouldn't have given into the excuses, I wouldn't have this. If I did not think about the bigger picture, I wouldn't have what we have now. I wouldn't have all these blessings. And none of this was ever handed to me. Y'all, I barely passed high school, barely. I barely passed high school. I grew up with nothing ever handed to me. I grew up with a mother who is very jealous and can never be happy for her own kids. I grew up with a dad who would rather go out and do his own thing than take care of his daughter. I was abandoned at 14. So I could have easily had all of these reasons why this wouldn't work for me. But why should I fall into those statistics of, oh, I had a really crappy childhood, so of course nothing's going to happen good for me, right? No. I changed the game. I made it happen for me because I wanted better for myself. I wanted better for my husband and better for my kids. So that's where we're going to talk about the incentive, the belief that you can achieve literally anything you want. And what does my story have to do with the incentive? Everything. Because if I wouldn't have believed in myself through 9 years, I would not be here today. And today I still work just as hard as I did when I first joined. I still recruit. I still have high peer review. I still earn top trips. And that's not to say, oh, because you're an SSD and you are in, it just gets handed to you. No. It's actually 10 times harder now. And not to scare y'all from being an SSD, I want that for all of you. I want you guys to achieve whatever title you want to achieve, or stay where you're at. I don't care. I'll love you then too. But stop holding yourselves back, because there's so much more to Scentsy than just the business side. It's the belief in yourself, the strength that you find in yourself when you keep going when on the days that you don't want to. And y'all, I used to tell myself, so for 7 years, 6 years, I told myself I wasn't a high PRV person. I was the rock star recruiter. I couldn't do both. Guess what? When I finally changed my whole mindset that I can be both, I earned annual sales for the first time in 2018. I've been around for almost 9 years and I just earned it 2 years ago. What? Yeah, you guys. When you are your own worst critic and you get in your own way of achieving great things, you're not like, nothing's going to happen from that. But when you switch your mindset and you say, you know what, I'm going to figure out how I can do this and I will do this. Instead of saying I can't, say I will, and I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to achieve it. Because when you put it out there, it's like the universe just grabs onto it and it's like, all right, let's do this. Let's go. And so every year since then, since I changed my mindset, I have hit annual sales because I changed my mindset. I didn't go out and do anything different. I just simply changed my mindset. And again, I have great relationships with my customers. I just wasn't working with them the way that I needed to in order to achieve that. So it all stems down to belief in your business, in life. I want you guys to put in the chat real quick. What is your biggest obstacle that you are struggling with right now? Because that obstacle is going to be the reason, if you don't handle it and if you don't believe that you can get over it, that's going to be the reason why you don't earn this next incentive. Because it all comes down, oh, I already see one, being consistent and following up. That's going to be the reason why you don't earn it if you do not handle it. Oh, wow, you guys are quick. Okay. Staying on task, talking to new people, following up. Okay, so you guys know what your obstacles are. So now it's time, now that you have identified it, now it's time to work on that. Because all of that, see self-doubt, I see self-doubt. Why? See, my trainings are so different because I don't go off script. Like I have nothing right here besides a desk. So why do you have self-doubt? Why don't you believe that you can achieve all these amazing things? Why? I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. Emily and April, your SSDs aren't better than you and you are not better than them. So why? Consistency, motivation. There's a lot of doubting here. We're going to fix that. Hold on. Let me take a drink of water real quick. Why don't you guys believe that? If you guys want to unmute yourself, you can. Because that's super important, because when you doubt yourself, you don't think you can literally achieve anything. Whether that's recruiting, whether that's PRV. I think a lot of time we focus so much on recruiting and PRV and parties that we forget the root of all of that is self-belief. Is truly believing in ourselves that we can achieve this. Don't know enough people to sell? Listen, I was a branding consultant for multiple years in multiple states in different countries. If I can find people to talk to and grow my business, sis, you can too. You definitely can. I believe in you that you can do that. And I think you have to get to the root of why. I feel like I'm suffering because I've lost my drive. There's so many people in this world, but there's so many more people in this world who don't know what Scentsy is. You are that person for them. So I feel like a lot of people, hold on, popular enough for people to support. If people make you feel like you are not good enough, you're surrounded by the wrong people. Because that's not okay to me. If you feel this big around people, you're in the wrong crowd. They always say when anxiety kicks in, when you come around certain people, that is how you know you are around the wrong group of people. You should never feel anxious coming around people. If I felt anxious going around Emily or April, ugh, I would not be on here. But this is different. I told when April asked me, I was like, what's my time limit? And she said like 15 to 20. And I was like, okay, I'll try. And then she opened it up. So that was great because I knew that this was going to go a lot deeper because that's the root of all of this. Incentives, awards, promotions, big paychecks. If you want any of that in this business, you need to take a step back and you need to find the root of why you are doubting yourself, why you don't achieve things. Because you know what? The reason why certain things aren't being achieved, take a look in the mirror. It's you. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing because the best people give themselves reality checks. I give myself one all the time. Like if I'm telling somebody that they should be recruiting, I need to do a reality check and go, Chelsea, are you recruiting? Do you have high PRV? Are you telling people to do stuff that you're not doing? That's being a hypocrite. And we ain't doing that today. No, give yourself reality checks. Own up to what you need to work on. It's okay. We are not perfect. Y'all should never be perfect. Okay. You should always be evolving, always being a sponge, always learning. My phone is dying. I have to go. Well, Sammy, I hope you got something out of this. I don't want you to go, but you feel anxious all the time. Then do stuff that brings joy into your life. Anxiety stems from things that anxiety stems from things that make us feel uncomfortable. Is it an uncomfortableness where you're like, I know I can grow from this? Or is it uncomfortable because you're doing things that aren't serving you anything? And that it's more like a force, that you have to do it. This is why I love Sensi. Huge family, so much support. Yes. My husband is not supportive and it really brings me down. Prove him wrong. That's all I'm going to say. Keep doing this. Should not be about your husband. This is about you first. Your husband will come around. I have that conversation so many times with people when they're like, my spouse does not support me. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep showing up for you, and your husband or your spouse will come around. Keep showing them the paychecks as they rise, as your team grows. Keep showing them. Eventually, they usually come around because my husband was very like, ooh, you're doing this direct sales, okay? Like he encouraged me to join with no intentions of this ever being our income, ever. He was very skeptic. Let's see here. And yes, we are totally getting real tonight because that's what needs to happen. I feel like so many times it's tiptoeing in this business, and I ain't about the tiptoeing. We got to get real. We got to get raw because that's when the best growth happens. And again, that is the root. Believing in yourself is the root of everything in this business. Because if you don't believe yourself, you're definitely not going to earn anything. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to earn anything. You have to believe. I don't care if you have to lean on somebody every single day in order for you to believe. Do it. Do something for you every single day. That's where I said I had to take all my hats off because I got burnt out. That I didn't believe that I could, be a caregiver and a mom and a wife and a business owner and all these things. I didn't think I could do it anymore. I stopped believing in myself until I started taking care of myself. Like really taking care of myself. And I will, excuse bust anybody who wants to come at me because I love excuse busting. And it's never in a mean way. It's more like, listen, I know because I've been there. I've been there and I've experienced it. And you can too. Like you can overcome that too. You need more consistent high PRV. Okay. Ask yourself these. When these questions happen, you need to recruit. You need that consistent high PRV. Ask yourself, instead of saying, I know I need to do all of this, how am I going to get all this? Make a plan. Without a plan, you're just sitting on dreams. That's all you're doing. You're basically, these are your dreams. You're sitting on them if you don't make a plan and there's no action behind those plans. You're sitting on them. They can't go anywhere. So get off the hands, stop sitting around, make a plan, break it down day by day, 3 to 5 things a day, or 2 to 3 things that you need to do. I understand some of you guys work full time, maybe go to school, you're a parent. I understand. I've got 2 crazy little kids. I've got 2 kids that are insane. I've got a husband who's like a 3rd kid. So I feel you on things get crazy, but you have to prioritize what's important to you. You want to earn this trip? Prioritize what you need to do to earn it. If you don't want to earn the trip, that's okay too. Like, let's normalize that a little bit. If the trip is not important to you, that's okay. But that doesn't mean you should sit back and stop working your business, because there's so much more to this business than just a trip. And I feel like if you don't earn the trip, if you work so hard and you don't earn it, that's okay too. Like, it's okay as long as you're continuously growing and staying consistent all the time in this business. Oh, I see a lot of people here. Okay. I'm getting that incentive no matter what. Nothing's going to hold me back. Yes, I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. If you want it, go get it. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Amen to that. I was in another business with my brother, and anxiety was my daily life. I met Leslie and knew that this is where I wanted to be. Yes. Scentssy's so different. It's very different. And if you do not let Scentsy completely if you don't embrace everything of Scentsy, you're missing out. I said that in the beginning, and I fully 100% believe in that, because you can grow as a person in this company if you let Scentsy like really change you. It can change your life, but it can help you grow in personal growth too. And that's super important, not just business growth. But there's one thing that I want you guys to as you are working towards this incentive, like, really identify your weaknesses, because obviously we all have strengths, right? Like, that's what we thrive on, is our weaknesses or our strengths. But we need to focus more on our weaknesses and turn those into strengths. Weaknesses is not a bad thing. Flaws are not a bad thing. Those just need a little bit more worked on, and that's okay. So if you're not a high PRV person, guess what? It's time to change that. Time to change it. If you're not a rockstar recruiter, it's time to change it. Those weaknesses does not mean it's going to hold you back. Those weaknesses does not mean that you aren't good enough. It's the lies that you tell yourself and the obstacles that are literally just sitting in front of you. What are you going to do? You're just going to keep running into it, or you're going to overcome that and figure out what you need to do to get the PRV, to get the recruits for the incentive. And not just the incentive, but for your business. Because at the end of the day, as long as your business is growing consistently, you're going to earn trips. If you were consistent, and that's why I work not just during incentive times, and I encourage my leaders, my team to do this too. Work consistently every day like you're earning an incentive, not just during incentive periods. Because guess what? When you wait till the incentive period, yeah, of course it's going to be great and you're going to recruit like rock stars. What about in the off season when we don't have it? Why does your business have to stop then? Constantly recruit, constantly have the high PRV. Make that a goal. Because if you constantly have both of those, you're going to earn trips. It's not going to feel as pressured if you are consistently working and showing up and doing the things that you need to do. Not doing a whole lot of things. It's just doing a few things really well. You don't need, there are so many amazing consultants who do all these amazing things, but that doesn't mean that that's for you. Remember that. We all get overwhelmed. Like I said, there's so many amazing things out there. And I bet we all look at that and we're like, I want to do all of this. But then we always get overwhelmed and we're like, I don't want to do any of that because that seems like a lot now. It's not for you, and that is okay. Remain positive. Focus on what you need to do. And I think a lot of time we get so focused on, we have to do all the things. Remember, one of our core values is simplicity. Why are we overcomplicating it? Sensei's not, well, I won't say that. Most of the time, Sensei's not, but it's consultants because we overthink. That we're human. We overthink sometimes, and that's okay. You didn't join this business to do all these things to overwork yourself. You joined this business for whatever reason you did, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's to travel, whether it's to pay off debt, whether it's to stay at home with your kids, retire your husband, whatever that is, that's why you joined. Not to be overwhelmed, not to overwork. But if you consistently work your business and do a few things really well every single day, it adds up. And you feel free when you're like, oh, I achieved my 3 to 5 things I needed to do today. And I'm okay. I can actually close shop. Target closes, y'all. Chick-fil-A closes. Starbucks closes. I said that because that's all on my shirt right now. That's mom therapy, in case you guys needed to know that. But they all close, so why can't you close? You deserve time off. I don't work weekends because weekends are with my family. Yeah, I know. People, what? I don't work Cincy every single day. I work during the week, but I do things my few things I need to do every single day very well. So I have deserved that time off. You have to earn your rest so that way you don't give up. Let's see here. Some days I struggle. Wow. Okay. Wow. I love all of this. You guys are awesome. I see the hard work and I'm all about it, especially I will never have to go work another day in my life if you love what you do. Yes. I get all the help and support I need from them, and that helps me so much. When I'm recognized for hard work I'm doing for them, that pushes me to go further. I love that. Recognition is a huge thing, and feeling like that you're here, like you have a purpose. That is super important to feel. And you all have a purpose. That's why you're here today. 100%. You have a purpose in this life. Whether you may not feel it or know it, you do. I believe it, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. Some days I struggle with that, to post in my group instead of not posting. I'll play a game or ask silly questions. I'm working on being consistent and building relationships. It's too easy to lose consistency. It is easy. It's so easy. But guess what's more rewarding? Doing the hard things. That's more rewarding. It's so easy. Don't be them. Don't be the people who give up. Be the people who do the hard things and to show up, because that will show your team that they can do the hard things. You do the hard things, that will duplicate down into your team. And you know what? Staying consistent on your group page, showing them that you still show up every single day, they will start showing up too. I stepped outside of my comfort zone a lot to make my business grow. Recently, I did an event at a baseball field and threw one of the first pitches, just to get my name out there. That's a fun way. I have neighbors who play baseball, so I'm about to ask if I can do that next year, because that's genius. Can't wait for the day I can quit my job and do Cincy full time. I can't wait for that day either. I cannot wait for that moment for you, because that's going to be super exciting, and you're going to cry, and it's going to be amazing. It's amazing. Let's see. I'm glad we have the SSDs and you to look to, so that our dreams don't seem unattainable. No, but also if your dreams don't scare the crap out of you, they're small. They need to be big in order to scare you. When I signed for this house, my hand was shaking. Then my realtor grabbed it and he was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "You have no idea how long I've waited for this moment." And like, he understands because he follows me on social media. So he sees the work that I put in, and he understood, and he was like, "I know." And to me, that was like everything. And let me just say that there are times where I look at it and I'm like, I'm tired today. Like, I'm exhausted. What's in it for me anymore? And it's okay to have those moments. If anyone tells you that they've never had a moment where they're like, should I keep going? They're lying to you. They are. Everybody has those moments. And I can guarantee Emily and April on here have had those moments of, should I keep going? And if they haven't, they will. Because we're human. We have those moments. We just can't stay there. It is okay to have those moments where you are feeling tired and that you need a break. It's okay. Know that it's okay and that you don't have to exhaust yourself, okay? Take a day off. Take a day for you. If you feel that emotion where you are just overwhelmed and you are overworked, step back, reevaluate, take a day off, sit in a tub, soak, take a long hot shower, drink some wine. I don't care what you need to do, but come back the next day refreshed and ready to go. And remember why you continue to show up. That's why it's always nice to have that deep rooted why. Like, not just saying $200, you want to make $200, because once you make $200, then what? It needs to be a lot deeper than that. And you need to be like deeply rooted, because if you are deeply rooted, nothing is going to stop you. But if you are here and you're not deeply rooted, any small thing that doesn't go your way or you don't achieve something, you're gonna be like, peace out, Sensi. So make sure you're deeply rooted so nothing shakes you. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing with this chat. I love this so much. My husband supports me and it changes everything. Yes. It's great when you have support. And even if you don't have support, like I talked about a little bit ago, keep showing up. Keep showing up no matter what, especially for you. Yes, the family that we have is the best. And like, even though I'm not in your family tree, you're a Sensi family. So that means you're everything to me. Like everything. So I started working in sales at a young age. And number one thing that stuck in my head forever is you have to get so many no's to get a yes. Yeah. I mean, no just means not right now. And I mean, I guarantee you guys have heard that so many times. Go for the no, all the things. And remember that you are in this, you hold the steering wheel to your business. So if you want to make something of this, you're in the driver's seat, press the gas. And if you need to slow down a little bit, tap on the brake, but don't fully stop. Okay, remember that. Because if you stop, that's usually when traffic hits and then we get all bitter and mad and we just want to stop. No, it's okay to coast. You know, there's no race. This business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Take your time. There is no competition. Don't try to one up somebody. Don't try to be the best in the room. Like, we're not doing that. That's not you guys. You are so much more than that. And nothing good ever comes from that. Nothing good. Yes, it's okay to slow down. 100% it's okay to slow down. You don't have to go all the time. Like, you don't, because that would exhaust me watching if I saw that. Which, those people who do go like that 100% all the time, cool. I still love you, but I get exhausted watching. So, and I love that y'all called this a table talk. I meant to say that in the very beginning. It's amazing. But that's really all I have. Like, it's more cutthroat. I didn't want to come on here and talk about how can you get PRV? How can you get recruits? Because y'all know, you know how to get that. That's easy peasy stuff now. Let's go a little deeper than that. The hard conversations that we always talk about. The reality checks that we all need as consultants. And I hope that even if you guys just took one tiny thing from this, whether it was me saying, I don't know, mom therapy, Chick-fil-A and Starbucks and Target, cool, as long as you take something from this. I mean, and apply that, like, obviously, right? Like, we're going to apply that into our life. But I think I can light your guys' fire, but you guys have to keep it lit. That's up to you. Ooh, that was good. I have to give myself credit on that. That was good. And I kept seeing the little fire thing in the jiggers. So just know that I'm so proud of you guys. And I know your SSDs, April and Emily, are so proud of you guys. I've hung out with them a few times and you guys are in the best freaking hands. Like, they are legit. And I tell everybody, I'm like, do you guys know Emily and April? And most of the time they do. And they are fire. So you guys are in the right hands. You guys, I mean, they've paved the way. And you know what's cool? You guys can teach them. That's the cool part. Because they are still learning too. You're in this all together. And you guys all bring something to the table. And it's okay to build your own tables, right? Like, it's okay to do that. But don't forget why you're here. Don't forget what keeps you going. And don't forget to lean in on each other. Because things are still crazy right now. Lean in on your people. Love them. Love them where they're at. I have a huge bonfire under my boot. That's new. Well, I love a good bonfire. So there we go. And you all can bring something to the table, something so unique and valuable and special and beautiful and all the amazing things. So if we're not friends on social media, be my friend so I can see all of your stuff. That's how I virtually know Andrew. because we're virtual friends. And seriously, don't be afraid to reach out. I think like we can all do this like together. We're all going to do this together. I'm just reading all the comments now. Okay, so if there's no other questions, or if there is questions, please ask. What time is it? Oh, I've only been going for 40 minutes. I'm good.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. That was
You literally had me about to cry the entire time.
Speechless. My husband was looking over at me like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "Stop looking at me."
Stop it. Leave.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was
Yes.
so good.
Thank you.
That's something that all of us needed, even us.
I mean, we all need it. Even I need it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's okay. So, wow, I can see my phone going off. So I have a lot of friend requests I gotta look at. I see a lot. Like my phone hasn't been stopped like for like 15 minutes now. We're good. But no, I appreciate all of you guys, and I love you, and I can't wait to see all of you guys grow, and just watch you guys just achieve amazing things. So that's all I have.
So much. You are seriously amazing.
And
we love you
guys.
and appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys so much. So I hope you guys have an amazing night, and let's go have a kick-ass fall. I'm super pumped.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
People, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I see people don't leave.
Stay on. So we're going to do a drawing. If you're still on, I've already got everyone's names, but some people are dropping off. So if they're dropping off, they're missing the drawing. Guys, that was fire. Was that not? That was so good. Okay, so.
Can I say really quick how excited I am that there was 72 people here tonight?
There was 78. 78 people at once.
78. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
So what that means is that all of you guys want to grow your businesses too. You came to grow your business too. So now take all this knowledge and apply it. Soak it. I hope that you soaked it all up as like a sponge. And then if you don't apply it, it's as if you weren't here.
Right. Like that's the thing. It's so easy to get your fire lit during these because it's happened to me before too. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pumped. Let's do this. But like, if you don't actually do anything afterwards, then this is kind of like you just wasted your time. So actually do something. And if you don't know what to do tomorrow morning, message one of us. Like we will give you tactical things. This is what you need to do. This is what you're struggling with. This is what you need to do. So you need to be reaching out to us or your sponsor or your director or whoever that is to be like, okay, my fire is lit. How do I, like Chelsea said, how do I make it stay lit? Because I'm ready to go.
So since you guys are all on here, another thing is that we're going to be doing this monthly. We're going to be doing this the first Tuesday and the first Thursday of every month. And guest speakers are going to be coming and going. So make sure that you're getting your teams on board to show up to these kind of things, because this is what will keep your fire lit. This will keep you showing up and motivated to keep working your business. Because Nicole she said earlier, like we all have a story. Every single one of us joined Sensi for one reason or another. And that's your why. You need to go back to your why. And why did you join Sensi? What do you want from that? And apply that into your business every single day. Because if you lose your why, we get burnt out and the spark, it goes dull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely try to get your teamies here, show up as much as you can, watch the recordings, and implement that into your daily business.
Yeah, first Tuesday and Thursday. So what we did